Hey, Mandy, it's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Excellent. It's so great to be here, Elijah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here, just like I mentioned earlier. And you see, Mandy, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, I want to say thank you so very much, Mandy, for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invest in yourself. And oftentimes I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, Mandy, some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Mandy, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes, Mandy, I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely experience that day. I was so excited. Here's my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Mandy that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request for me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing. Your insights, your philosophies, how you're offering your solutions, the impact your work is having. These stuffs are amazing. And just before you got the request from me, Mandy, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Mandy is doing. Not only me now, but even the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Mandy. So thank you so very much for doing that yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could. Thank you so much. Thank you. So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Mandy, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, Mandy, ever since I realized that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Mandy on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, Mandy, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, Mandy, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Mandy got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Mandy, over to you.
What would you like to know, Elijah?
Beautiful. So let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey. Let's start from there.
I guess it's hard to know where to necessarily begin with this, and what really appealed for the journey. So I have a career of close to 20 years. So where do you go? Do we start with my first company that I started when my daughter was a year old, and I was looking back, I realized I was struggling with postpartum depression, and I was looking for an outlet. I wasn't planning on starting a company yet, but a friend of mine got me excited about a skill that I didn't even realize I had. I designed some logos for her, and it got me started into a graphic design business, and I just kind of accidentally started it. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they get started accidentally. They find some skill, some takes you to the next step, and that's where it took me. So that was step one of that, and then fast forward some years, built it into a company that actually was that was becoming more successful, and it was eating me alive. And as a result of that, and I was pregnant with my second daughter at this point. 4 years later, or I guess 3 years later. And at this point, I had come to a crossroads, realizing the company was not working for me. I had built a prison for myself, and it was eroding my health. It was just a really hard place to be in. And I made a really hard call, realizing that I couldn't just I just couldn't keep my business running and take a maternity leave. It was not possible to do both, which is how I had set up the company. And so I had to make the hard call of shutting my business down so that I could have some time with my daughter. And as a result of that, we racked up some debt, and very consciously chose to do that. And from that point, my husband and I, with his graduate medical program he was in, we racked up about $175,000 of debt. And this was at this point where I had made a transition into what is now hands-off CEO. I started looking at I was trying to understand the problem I was running into, the problem that, why was I so stuck in the company? That's definitely not what I started out for. It was not the company I had intended to solve. And here I was. So I started interviewing other people. I started asking questions and doing some testing. And what I started to find the root causes of why other people were having this problem. And I started helping them solve that. And I started seeing commonalities. And before I knew it, I had people asking me to help them do that and wanting to pay me to do it. And that's what started the second business, which is now Hands-Off CEO. 13 years later, it's $1 million company. It can run without me. That's why I'm able to, be here on your wonderful show here, Elisha. And I went from $175,000 of debt and in physical pain, not being present as the mother and the wife that I wanted to be, to becoming a multimillionaire before the age of 40, and being able to help other people do the same.
Amazing. That's very inspiring. I tell you, thank you for sharing that with us. And the fact that you are helping others do the same. It tells me the kind of person you are. You've got a loving heart. That's a great one. So let's begin first with this one. And I'm so curious about it, okay? So how can one turn a basic service into a premium offer? Got it?
So how did you take a basic service and turn it into a premium offer?
That's right.
So, the biggest thing is you have to actually be focused not on a service, but focus on results, focus on outcomes. And if you want to be able to command the highest paying dollars for the amount of hours you work, you need to really be able to look at what is the outcome. What are they actually buying? They're not buying a service. They're buying the service with the hope that this is going to deliver this future. You're really selling a future to them. And the thing is that most people don't actually know what's possible. They don't even know what they want. That's the other reality. Most people don't get what they want because they don't even know what they want. So sometimes we need to bring to our most ideal clients a new vision and help them be able to see what they want and help them see that it's possible. And when you can do that, what that allows you to do is charge a premium price point, charge at the highest level. And that's actually how you generate real wealth, is that the most important thing about generating wealth is being able to leverage your time and to be able to get paid a lot more for the amount of time that you have. And you start that first on a solo individual level. And I guess I should say, that's what I've seen work the best. There's a lot of ways that you could do this, but what I've seen work the best is to be able to really be able to, like you said, Elisha, the importance of investing in yourself, right? And that mango tree growing. And you invest in yourself, you invest in your earning potential. And that's the most important thing to invest in, is investing in your earning potential. And then as you're investing in your earning potential, then you then are able to go and have excess that you can invest in your personal life. And that's how you build wealth. That's how my husband and I built wealth. And the simplest way to do that is just to make a lot more money and spend less. But you don't necessarily have to be like a pauper. You just need to make a lot more money so that you can. I know that sounds overly simplistic, but a lot of people they're trying to become wealthy when they're not optimizing the most important thing they need to optimize, which is what they're actually making and how much they're bringing home. So with a service-based company, that's the most important thing to be able to optimize is how much you're able to get paid. And that's driven directly through the results that you're able to create for clients. And it creates a flywheel. And the better results that you create for clients, then the more referrals you'll get, the more case studies you'll be able to have on your website that you can leverage to be able to attract the next level client. And it's this whole flywheel that builds on itself, And then you have more profits in your company to then hire people to be able to replace yourself from the different pieces. And that's really the foundation to be able to build a profitable service firm that can ultimately run without you.
Amazing. Very practical. You see, now you just proved me right. I mentioned earlier, I said, I'm totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful. Yeah. It's happening already. Beautiful. So what about this one? I noticed that some high-paying clients overlook great work. Why is that?
They're selling deliverables. Their proposals. They say, hey, I was actually just on a conversation with a company today, looking at, they do business development services. I was looking at this for a potential partnership, and they talked all about what they do. They talked about the tech stack that they use. They talked about stupid things that I don't really care that much about, right? Like as a buyer, as a referrer, right? That's what I care about ultimately is the end result. Now, that being said, I won't say more on that, I guess, but when you're selling deliverables and when you are making the assumption that you're coming in as that you're going to solve, that you're solving lower level problems. You're solving, okay, I don't have someone who can do this. I need more expertise around this particular skill. Like maybe it's search engine optimization. Maybe it is around building a strategic plan for a university. Maybe it's around building a sales and marketing campaign for a tech service. So those are examples of these are things that we can do for you. But here's the thing is that you can spend that money, they can do it for you, and you can sit there as a client with like this deliverable in your hand, but nothing really to show for it. And I'll give you an example of this. There was an SEO company that we hired one time, and they had this really incredible process that allowed you to be able to rank on all these different terms. And they shared these terms, and we looked at these keywords, and I gave them feedback. These are not the keywords. I want these keywords. And they didn't listen to what I said. They went ahead and ranked for the keywords that they knew they could rank for, that actually we did not want to rank for. And and what they did is they used like a black hat tactic that actually put our website at risk. So but they had gotten us ranked on all these top keywords. And now these top keywords, they went and they used that to be able to show to their new clients, look at all this new traffic. They'll show them a screenshot of all this new traffic. It was bogus traffic. This actually hurt our company. We had to go out and remove all of these bogus links and all of these extra articles that they put on our website that actually was degrading our brand. And when we did that, it actually cost us money. It put our website at risk, and they used those metrics to be able to go and tell their new prospective clients how great they were. So here's the thing is that deliverables mean jack squat. It's actually what the deliverables can do. Like what what order of problem are you solving? Are you coming in as an expensive set of hands, which by the way, AI can do cheaper than ever before? Or their internal employees can do with AI cheaper than ever before, or with some really cool software that's aided by AI. Like, we're in a different world now where that's just not flying anymore. Companies are getting passed over because they are solving too small of problems. They're getting passed over because they are talking about deliverables and tactics and smaller order, little bits and bobs, and they may get hired, but they're going to get hired for the teeny tiny little projects to fill in the gaps. They're not getting hired for the high level strategic work. They're not getting access to the C-suite where they actually can be able to contribute to meaningful strategy.
Amazing. Wow. I got that. And thank you for sharing that with us. So we have one more question to go. So what sets the fastest growing firms apart today? Got it?
Yeah, what sets the fastest growing firms apart is one thing, like you did mention, is investing in themselves, investing in their ability to position their firm in a different way. That is one thing I am seeing and whether that's time, whether that's money, whether that's investing in internal staff to be able to do high level work. They're investing ahead while the rest of the market is going and hiding out under a rock. So that I think that's one of the biggest things is like their forward mindset of I'm investing forward, I'm growing forward, as opposed to we're just going to wait it all out. So that's the first aspect of it. Another aspect that we're seeing with the top growing firms is, again, like I was mentioning, they're standing for bigger outcomes. They know what their invisible advantage is. And here's what I mean by an invisible advantage. What are they best at in the world that allows them to be able to compete in a way that makes them completely stand out. And how you know that is what I call the power of ones. The power of ones is one client, one painful problem, and one outcome. And when you understand what those are, you understand your invisible advantage. And that invisible advantage is what allows you to cut through the noise. It's what allows you to be able to be seen as a top level expert, as opposed to a set of hands that is going to do this work, right? Which, by the way, the top growing firms, they are being sought after for high level work and high level outcomes. They're really they're growth partners. They're not doers. They have gone beyond that. And how doers typically grow is they grow through referrals. I need a website. Oh, so-and-so does a good job with a website. But they're being hired by like a lower level internal team. They're not being hired by the CEO typically, unless it's like a really small company. But then you're dealing with very small budgets. And then you're not able to actually do your best work. So the very best firms, they are setting up conditions for their most ideal conditions. I was talking about for their invisible advantage. They are creating conditions where they can do their very best work under every circumstance. So the right budgets, the right team, the right product. Like what's the pricing that the product that they're serving? Is it a business to business market, or is a business to consumer market? And they're understanding all these different variables. What do I have to have in place to do our very best work? And they're managing their engagements in line with that very clearly. They're saying, these are the success conditions that we need to do in order to be able to add $10 million to your company over the next 3 years. That's the pathway we're taking you on. And they don't take clients that don't meet those success conditions. And that's how they become best in the world. But it takes a mindset of abundance. It takes a mindset of being willing to say no to things that are not a good fit. And that's what the top firms are doing.
Powerful words. It takes the mindset of abundance, the mindset of willing to say no. I got that. Well, that's a beautiful one, Mandy. So to bring this to an end, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to learn more about everything we've discussed, ask you questions, or open your services, how can that be possible?
What I would like to leave with your audience is this. Choose greatness. Really go after what you want and create the conditions to be able to create that. And vision ahead, decide ahead of time, what do you want to be known for? What results do you want to be known for, especially if you don't know how to do it yet? And if you vision ahead, you stand in that future, and then you look back and say, what did we do? That's how you create your new reality. That's how you create your the biggest results. And if you would like to learn more about how you can create how you can find your invisible advantage, and also how you can be able to uncover hidden opportunities already hidden in your business, you can go to handsoffceo.com/map. And that will take you to the revenue recovery map, where you can find an additional $10,000 to $30,000 of opportunities already existing in your business.
Beautiful, beautiful. So that's going to be the end of the show, Mandi. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this profound stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on the show.